Yo, good evening everybody. Welcome to tonight's video. I'm not streaming this evening, guys, so I thought I'd give you this heads up on what to expect with Bitcoin moving forward. Now, we have had quite an eventful week so far. All right, everyone has been taken across the board. Everyone's in fear. People are concerned. What is going to happen to Bitcoin next? All right. Now, in order for us to understand exactly what will Bitcoin do, all right, we need to take a look at what it has achieved. Okay, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, each candlestick is the result of the exchange between the person who believes Bitcoin should be priced at one point against the person who wants to be selling at that point. Buyer and seller. Limit buys, limit sells, market orders, you name it. The result of it is shown by a candlestick. Now, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, guys, because I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays twice a day to keep you guys in line with what Bitcoin's moves are going to be. More importantly, help you understand the market maker's business model. Okay? So now that that's been done, let's work out what Bitcoin is going to do next. Because we have to work in probabilities, ladies and gentlemen. We won't know for definite, but the only way that we can improve the chances of plays, you know, working in our favor, we need to understand the bigger picture. All right? So let's start off with the monthly time frame. Where is Bitcoin at so far? Well, look at it like this, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't look like it's doing too bad, quite on it, to be honest with you. You know? See, when Bitcoin was around this point right here, people were expecting Bitcoin to drop all the way down to 20K. All right? When Bitcoin was at this point, they were expecting it to drop down to 20K. And this point right here, even down at this point, what I'm saying to you is whenever well, I don't even want to say it, but whenever it starts to hit the fan, people always aim for the worst because that's how they can make sense of chaos. Okay? Until Bitcoin breaks anything below this range right here. Now, I'm talking of course, in the 35 zone. If Bitcoin releases from the 35K point, it will be coming into these previous wicks right here. Now, we know the story about wicks, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? We understand a little bit of a story about a wick, and I'll be doing a video talking you through the whole development of price coming down to that wick that most were in denial that it was ever going to be taken. Okay? With that being said, let's actually have a look at that wick. You know, you can't miss out the fact that the wick has now been hit to the T and some. Remember, a couple of days ago, I said to you yesterday actually, do not buy the dip. Do not do anything of that nature. It might still have more room to drop. And that was when what price was here. Okay? I mean, if we look at it, the whole purpose of it all was this. Check this out. Where we at? I had it. And there we go. So, shared this to the guys in the Patreon. And I explained to them that do not buy the dip. Everyone was talking like, you know, this is it now. You know, this could be the point where Bitcoin could actually go up. It's actually taken a big battering to the downside. No, it wasn't finished yet. Projected down to the 41,540, just as a conservative place for you to actually, you know, to see where price is, if price was likely to come and test that zone, because the range daily low was close by and price action was being contained in this area. And you notice you had several stopping volume candles present in the chart, not allowing price to continue higher. Okay. And then, of course, they decided to break down the chart and they came and attacked the range. They came back and hit the wick to the T before they actually bounced away from it. Look at this. Absolutely disgusting. Look at how close it was right there. All right. So now that the wick has been fully completed, this is where things will start to get interesting. Okay. But let me put things into perspective for you, ladies and gentlemen. On the monthly time frame, Bitcoin right now has done okay to come away from its absolute low. All right. Now, we have crossed below the 13 EMA on the monthly time frame. Drop down to the weekly chart itself, we have broken the 50 EMA. That's really important. because we've broken a key point in the chart, which would effectively determine the validity of a rise, continuation to the upside. Here we are. We've got the pattern, rise up, retrace, continuation to the upside. So Bitcoin could be at a turning point, but it all depends on how this week finishes. And then the start of next week will lead us to believe that they may even come down towards this range right here, because this here is the key area of support for Bitcoin, because this is where it spent most of its time. All right. And more importantly, it's where we saw most of the notable stopping volume candles appearing in the chart. Forget September 21. There's nothing happening in there. People are just thinking, oh, because it's coming back to the same spot that it bounced from, it means that it's going to do it. I would love that to be the case, but we have to be logistical. We have to look at the point in the chart where they actually bounced from with aggression, where they meant business, not from a continuation point. Because if you look at it like this, we have got the rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. Where are you going to get more interest? It's all going to be at the point where they last moved from, where the conviction was present. Now, we do have these two vector candles right here. We've got one vector zone right here. Could this turn into another vector candle? Could the weekend actually send price even lower? We do have the liquidity to the downside, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, we're not going to shy away from the fact that there's 20k down here and they're all vector points. The next vector would be in this zone right here between 35 and 36 zone, and 37.5, sorry. So we have to have that in our scope. Drop down onto the daily time frame. You can see that volume appears in this daily candle. It looks like it's starting to rise because it's turned into a violet candle, right? But that also could imply that it's actually starting to slow down, because if they are trying to push price down lower, then of course they'd want to do it with aggression. So this could imply that volume is starting to taper off. All right. If they release beyond the range weekly low right here, there's a good chance that we might even come and realize these two pools of liquidity in the chart. Okay. They've rejected the 50 on the daily. That's a big play. We are now waiting to determine if they are going to follow through and actually break down beyond this range right here and see if they're going to show support in this range. We are still in the cyclical week. You've got the M formation up here. So let me get rid of all this drawings here. We now have the following. M formation, drop, level 1. Drop, level 2. Drop, not a full level 3 drop. Why? Because they haven't broken from the level 2 consolidation point, which was the start of the wick. So there is still room for them to actually break down lower. Yeah? Dropping onto the 4-hour time frame, we can see what price action's been up to today. It's not been up to much. It's not been great. Price hasn't actually done anything. It's been spiky. It's just been, people have just been absorbing the fact that price is actually dropping. Now we're going to be hearing about the bearish market being thrown about now. It's a markdown phase, ladies and gentlemen. They've been making their profit. They've been moving price up. Now they want to make their profits to the downside, which is the markdown phase. Yeah? We just got one more cyclical move to the downside. And look at where the liquidity's at. I would love it if Bitcoin could turn from this point. But if they're going to stick with the cyclical move to the downside and they're going to stick with obtaining this liquidity in this area, then they're going to have to come down to this point, whether they do it over the weekend, whether they do it into the start of next week. Be cautious when buying the dip. Okay? Now, Ethereum. Same story. Come back down. I mean, they attacked that range, but it's quite interesting because Ethereum has now come into the last consolidation area from September 21. Now, Ethereum trades much better than Bitcoin, in my opinion. Okay? So there are two zones that they could actually attack. They've hit the first one, and they got one more zone to hit. If Ethereum releases beyond the 2.5K zone, okay, which is right here, then Ethereum's got a lot of work to get through, because there is this one last area where Ethereum bounced from. Yeah? Now, I'm not saying that Ethereum's going to go there, but there is a possibility that Ethereum could go there. We have to accept this, guys. Right? I am not here to give you or be the bearer of bad news. I'm here to give you the logic. I'm here to take away the idea of being hopeful. Yep, I'd love it if Ethereum can go up. Yep, I'd love it if Bitcoin can go up. Can't even get above its 5 or 13 EMA. Why am I interested in going long? I'm not. Okay? For both Ethereum and Bitcoin, we are waiting for them to come back towards the moving average. That's the 50 EMA. We could be still waiting for another cyclical push to the downside, and then we'll be looking for a potential new peak formation. All right? So we're just going to sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. We have to sit tight. The glass node itself. Traders right now, or those guys who are in unrealized profits and losses for Bitcoin, currently are in fear. Sorry, I've got anxiety. They are feeling anxious. All right? If you notice, blue, euphoria, greed, green, belief, denial, amber looking color, like dark brown, light brown, anxiety, optimism, hope and fear. I'm not saying that we have to go into all of these phases as it stands right now, okay? But what I'm saying right now is people are feeling anxious, which it could lead to fear. And then if it ends up as capitulation, then Bitcoin is going to do another turn. Where it turns is the key question, ladies and gentlemen. For every capitulation point in the chart, as you can see, which is this pink area, that's where Bitcoin turns. Okay? Is the glass node implying that we are yet to see capitulation? Because the last capitulation point was here, when Bitcoin was at, excuse me, $5,195. That was the last point. Then up here, at the lowest point, around the 25 and the 34 zone, there was no capitulation. Now, ideally, we want to see Bitcoin moving from this zone. All right? But all we have is time. That's the thing, guys. You've got to sit tight and wait. Okay? Looking at the leverage ratio, I like to look at this. I mean, it's at its highest, man. Look at that. 0.2. Leverage ratio across exchanges, man. A lot of people are borrowing money, and probably the result of price dropping, they may even just attack all of this, all of the liquidity across the board. People are holding on. People are in denial. People think so much. And it's a shame, really, ladies and gentlemen. You know? Because if you're not paying yourself, you ain't going to be able to get back in when everything starts to turn back up again. And what I think is great as well, I think another fantastic thing is that people are assuming that Bitcoin topping out at 69, or it will never go beyond 69. How can you tell me that you know what people's conception of value is at that point in time? If we're going to look at it mathematically, how many billions do we need to actually, the market cap? What does it need to be for it to get to that point? Well, they said exactly the same about Dogecoin, and look what happened there. The thing about cryptocurrency, or the thing about trading, is this. If the money's going to be there, it will appear there. It will turn up. Because as long as there is intention, and as long as there is belief, the money will be there. The math will just follow up with it afterwards. Because math will only be accepted as math because they have no choice but to accept it as math. Someone will say that it's impossible for Bitcoin or XRP to ever get to a certain figure because you would need X amount of market cap for it to happen. Well, guess what? It could actually happen. They're printing money all the time anyway. So what's stopping that money coming into actual XRP or Bitcoin? You see what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to get at is don't have any limitations to what price could be. Because we just don't know. We never knew Bitcoin would get above $1,000. We never knew it would get above $100. Now we're sitting at trading this asset, which now was $41,000. And it was nearly $69,000, $70,000. There's no loyalty in trading, ladies and gentlemen. There is no math. If someone's going to buy it, they will buy it. Finished. Let's have a look at some altcoins across the board, and then I'll let you beautiful people be. Here we go. Link. Out of all the chaos, seems like Link has done very well to hold in this range. Yesterday's price action showed the price moving away from the 50 and then coming back down into it and stabilizing at this point. We ideally want to see the 200 and the 50 crossing over the 800 before we can establish direction with this. Carver. Ooh, Carver has done a nice snap back down. What did we say about coins that are actually breaking up towards key moving averages from an abnormal place? So this is where they were here in this area, and then they quickly went and attacked the previous 800 EMA and with all of this space right here, and then they use it to set up price and then reverse it straight back down. Again, rule of thumb, be mindful with coins that are traveling aggressively towards moving averages that have been so fanned out away from price. They are places in the chart where they want to quickly exploit, lead traders to commit, and then snap the price back down again because they know the liquidity is there. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Mad love and respect to all of you, and I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with Bitcoin. Okay? Again, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Okay? The whole point of this stream is to help you understand how the game works. All right? And I will always be there every move that happens with Bitcoin, whether it's up or down or sideways. I will always be there just to help you guys understand where you are at with Bitcoin. It has been quite an eventful run so far, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin has come back down, and it's now come to areas that we were at beforehand where people were like, gosh, if Bitcoin doesn't actually break from here, then we are likely to see Bitcoin bleed to the downside. But guys, do not have that opinion about Bitcoin. Do not have that opinion about any asset, because this is the nature of the game, ladies and gentlemen. All right? It's the basis of price action. It's the basis of trading. You have to be accepting of price going up, and you also have to be willing to accept that it has to come back down again, because in order for it to go back up, it has to come back down. And in order for it to go back down, it has to move back up. Do you understand? Right now, we're getting a lot more price movement to the downside. We are expecting them to turn at some point. The liquidity is being placed in the charts. Look at all these previous red vector zones. We've established that they come back to the wicks. We've established that they recover the previous liquidity. But we can't establish when. We just need to wait and see when they decide to step in and take back the liquidity that is currently present in the charts. Mad love and respect to every single one of you people. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. Peace.